Hello, and welcome to Math Lessons with Linda. Today's topic is another factoring, and this time we're going to be factoring by grouping. So how can you identify when you need to use grouping as opposed to a difference of two squares or any other kind of factoring? So the big clue when you're looking at your problem is that you're going to have 4 terms rather than 2 or 3 terms, and the grouping part comes in, you're going to pair up the 4 terms into groups of 2. So for this problem, we're going to take the x cubed and the minus 3x squared and pair those together, and then that means the negative 5x plus 15, we're going to pair those together. So we've kind of grouped them together. So now what we need to do for each of these pairs, we're going to do kind of little mini problems. And in the first one, let's go ahead and figure out what our GCF is. That's what we want to do first. So I'm looking at these 2 terms and I can factor out an x squared from each of these. So then I'm going to write what I have left. So I've used 2 x's and I had 3, so now this is just an x to the first, or just x, minus, I factored out the x squared, so all that's left here is this minus 3. So we're going to hold off on that for now. Move over to these terms. When the leading term of the next pair is a negative, that is your indication that you are also factoring out that negative sign with any other numbers or variables. So in this case, take out the negative. Now I'm going to look and I see that I can factor out a 5 from each of these, and that's it. So when I'm taking out the negative and the 5, it's going to change this sign from a negative to a positive, and all I have left is an x. So it is positive x. And you can make sure you got your signs correct, because you should be able to multiply these back and get this exact term, which I do. If I'm factoring out a negative from a positive, this is a little trickier. You have to remember that if I take a negative out, I now have a negative here. And I factored out a 5, so I have 3 left. And watch what happens if I try to multiply it back, right? Negative 5 times negative 3, that's how I get that positive 15. So all the signs in here change from what they were when I take out this negative sign. Okay, so we've done the grouping, we've done the GCF. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at these parentheses. And what we really want is for these parentheses to be the same thing, because now in each of these grouped off pairs, I'm going to factor out an x minus 3, and that acts as another GCF between this pair and this pair. So when I take out the x minus 3, I have only the x squared left in this term, and over here, I just have this x minus 5, x squared minus 5. So make sure when you are done grouping, this looks a little familiar, like it almost might be a dots, except this 5 is not a perfect square. So if it was a 9 or a 36, we would do this parenthesis one more time as a dots. But when it's not a perfect square, we're going to leave it. And here is our final solution when we were using factoring by grouping.